This has been a long day. Been trying to keep up with it. Um, you know, I don't think the man should have. I don't think that was tough. Like, that's gonna change everything because the fact that they don't know who done it, and got people from on the right and the left like questioning, like, should I go out? Am I gonna be next? Should I go out and do, you know, public town hall meetings? I mean, you don't know if it's a, you don't know what it is. You don't know if it's if it's a Democrat, Republican. You don't know if it's a regular person. Um, you don't know if it's the government. I mean, this is crazy. Like, um, yeah, he's a father. He's a son. He's a husband, and he got assassinated in front of them. That's hard. It's sad. It's sad. I don't care what your politics are. I don't care what your beliefs. That's sad. It's sad to go out like that. It's sad. I mean, you can be them. I don't wish that on nobody. Um, but I try to, we got to start separating the people and the politics. And the politics, it's getting a lot. It's getting out of hand. I mean, it's been out of hand, but it's really getting out of hand. Now people can say and do what they want, and I mean, they used to can say and do what they want and not fear the consequences, but now it's consequences to this stuff. Like, you can't be out here um, unless you Elon Musk. You know, he pretty much untouchable. But I mean, you got to stand up for what you say. And he say a lot of stuff online. He go to these colleges saying college is a scam, but he's showing up to the colleges. I mean, you got you got thousands of people showing up to your events. You got millions some views on your videos. You got people out here that's truly affected by what Donald Trump, um, the policies, losing their Medicaid, losing their job, getting fired from the federal jobs, losing the insurance. I mean, grocery prices and all this stuff. Inflation is up, job market is down, unemployment is up. I think it was probably um, two things going on here. I think it's either orchestrated assassination, like a sacrifice, or if it's not a sacrifice, it probably is. It probably was an attempt to get to like send Donald Trump a warning. Since that's like Donald Trump right hand man, I feel like it was possibly to get Donald Trump attention. What do y'all think? Because I feel like they got his attention now. It's like, that's your boy. And this wasn't no regular person. This was a military. This is a yep. They knew he was coming, and they did it early. They didn't do it late. They was already set up before he got there. It's sad though, cause like, you know, you don't know if it's just somebody just targeting government officials. You don't know if they targeting Republicans. They were targeting whoever. You don't know who's next. You don't know if somebody was looking to get retaliation for like a you know, a Democrat They'll try to get a Democrat next, Republican, somebody. So, um, even though I didn't agree with what Kirk did, like I said, as a father, as a as a father, as a son, as a husband, like it's sad. I mean, dying like that in front of your all your loved ones, and with your video, gonna rotate on the internet forever. Your kids got to see that, and the internet don't got no filter, so they already got memes out, of the shooting. So, but I just want y'all like to focus on the things y'all can control. I mean, don't get tied up into these politics. I wish people would just not get not take it so personal because that's what the government want us to do. The government want us to divide and so they can conquer. They want it. They need it for the right to wake up, and they need it. This is the perfect thing to get the right to wake up because there's so many people on my timeline that got a lot to say when Charlie Kirk died. Like they wasn't speaking up with the Epstein stuff. They wasn't making no political posts for a long time because Donald Trump was in the water with nothing positive going on with Donald Trump. And now it's like everybody on my timeline. Like I didn't realize I had those many conservatives on my timeline, and that's all I saw. But that's what he need. He need people to get involved, voice their opinions, to get out and vote, to get amped up, get stirred up. So I feel like it's going to be some retaliation at some point. Um, but y'all got any updates? Y'all know who they say killed him? You think it was the fact that they don't know is scary because it's like like whatever their plan was, it worked. Their plan was to get in there and do it, and it was like one shot. It wasn't like multiple shots. It was one shot. So you had to have a good view. You had to been like, and for you to shoot them and somehow blend in with the crowd or somehow did something with the gun. I mean, no witnesses, nobody saw nothing. I mean, they should have been swept. I mean, and this guy was gonna come to Ole Miss, University of Mississippi next month. And I had got tickets because I wanted to, I didn't want to debate him, but I just wanted to, just basically probably get some footage for y'all, get some live footage. But yeah, they said as a father, as a son, as a husband, yeah, that's messed up. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I mean, sad, very sad. He said no one on the left has been threatened. Yeah, they just killed Melissa, politician from Minnesota. But they haven't been talking about it later. But yeah, they killed. She died too, and they threatened that. And Nancy Pelosi got, and her husband got assaulted or something like that. Her husband got assaulted. So I mean, it's been going on. It just, um, they just ain't been. It ain't been much of a topic. But this guy here was like really popular. Like he could have been. He was so popular. He could have been. Could have ran for office and got voted in. Like his name, he got a face card. He got like he did a good job. He did his job to the T. So you don't know if he did too good of a job, and they need him out the way. I mean, it's a lot of money. I don't think he just got killed because somebody didn't like him. Like we're gonna have to stop thinking like that. He didn't get killed because somebody didn't like him. He got killed for a reason. He could have been whoever his donors are, his people, or whatever. He could have been in odds with them. He could have been on the verge of leaving whatever and moving on, bigger and better things. It could have been set up for it to be like a um, somewhat staged. I don't think it was staged because I don't think he would have. If it was staged, I don't think it would have been like trying to kill him. But yeah, yeah, they just shot him one time too. It wasn't like they shot him one time. It wasn't like they were shooting up multiple people. It's like one shot, and then I guess I don't know, in a backpack. I mean, where do you put the rifle at? Like, if you're on the top of a building, I mean, you're in a car, you run off. They don't got cameras on the campus. They don't got like. Then they supposed to lower the flags in Mississippi. Well, I know for sure in Mississippi they supposed to lower the flags halfway. I guess that out of respect. But I mean, no disrespect, but I mean, lower the flag though. Politician died, and we didn't lower the flags. We got killed by a citizen. We didn't lower the flags. But, but yeah, y'all be careful out there. I mean, you know, just be careful because they getting people out of here. So yeah, he had said some negative stuff about black people. Kind of made me feel some type of way. So can I pull some stuff up? Yeah, make sure y'all add me. Double tap for the likes. I appreciate it. Let's see. Let's listen to this.
Civil Rights Act was bad and that we shouldn't have that.
Okay, well,
thank you. I appreciate that. I don't like you as much as Charlie, though.
First of all, what's your name?
Sorry. I don't want to be like filmed and stuff.
Too late.
I'm anonymous, number one. Anonymous guy.
Okay. Well, hello. Nice to meet you, anonymous guy.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. I believe in part of the essence of the Civil Rights Act went way too far, way too wide.
Oh, how did it go too far?
Well, for example, it created an entire civil rights leviathan that gave us affirmative action.
Civil rights leviathan? What do you mean?
Yeah, so if you can let me finish three words in.
Sorry.
It allowed the Department of Justice to go after people that have different skin color, aka white people, and prevent them from getting jobs in college admissions.
You have a job.
I'm sorry?
You have a job.
No, you're right, I do. Right. But just until Trump came around, until the Supreme Court decision, thanks to the Civil Rights Act, if you have white skin color, it's much harder to get into a college than if someone has black skin color. Much harder. You have to get higher test scores.
What?
It's a much harder pool, largely thanks to the precedent set by the Civil Rights Act. Not to mention all the trans stuff that we're seeing. We're seeing men be able to win trophies and medals from women across the country, and they use.
He said it's harder for a black person to get into the college than us. How is it hard for white people to get in college? Somebody explain to me how is it hard for a white person to get in college? See, stuff like that, like, it don't make sense. It's not, just don't make sense. Keep going.
Civil Rights Act to justify it.
Okay, I think I see where you're coming from. So you think that it's harder for white people because of black people they can have lower tech scores. I get it.
It's not what I think. It's the fact.
That's what you're saying. Okay. All right. Well, I guess what I would say too. I think perhaps you're familiar with the term equity, right? Where different people have different circumstances.
It's Marxism. I reject.
Okay. Well, whether you reject it or not, I think it's a prescient concept in this argument. Because what you have to understand is that when for example, you're born in like a black neighborhood, you're born in like O Block or something, like a very, like a, you don't know what O Block is? Oh, well, if you're born there, if you're born in a very poor area like that, with like very low economic opportunity, very, very poor schools with very low ratings, where the average test score is much lower, when you're in that environment, you have the whole system up against you, right? So when you say in that kind of circumstance, when you're facing the whole, I guess, leviathan of systemic racism, so would you say that's, sorry, let me just finish it. When you say it's fair to, for example, lower the standard because knowing that their circumstances were like that, perhaps based on what they had, what was presented to them, they had the correct amount of merit to get into a school.
Okay, so are you a student here? I'm guessing you are.
Oh, yeah, I'm a student here.
Are you a pretty good student?
Oh, yeah, I would say I'm a good student. I have a pretty high GPA.
Okay. Yeah. Can you give your GPA to her because she's a woman of color, please?
Oh, well, you want me to give you a... Well, I mean, I can.
Would you be willing to do that?
Yeah, sure.
You cool with that?
Yeah, so, I'm fine. Wait, you mean...
I want you...
Like, tell her or, like,
no,
give it to her?
By force.
Like, we're swapping it.
Let me tell you what I'm going to do. By force, white man.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to take your GPA. I'm going to give it to a woman of color.
Okay.
You're cool with that?
I mean, yeah, I can just work back up. Like,
there's no working back up.
I can pull myself up by my bootstraps.
No, there's no working back up.
What do you mean you can't work back up? That's the whole point of conservatism, isn't it?
I'm going to keep on taking it from you because that's equity. And you're cool with that.
What? But that's not
this is equity in
What
practice.
are you talking about?
Equity is giving, applying the equal standard.
If you give, how do you get? You must take and then you give.
Wait, what do you mean?
That which is given must first be taken.
Well, what's being taken?
Well, in this case, grades from you to grades to her.
No one's taking my grades though. That's not what affirmative action is.
Hold on a second.
No one takes your grades.
Hold on a second. If you only have so many positions at University of South Florida to come in, right? There's a set number. Let's say it's 20,000 people, okay? And we're going to say we're going to lower the test standards so that somebody that's a woman of color can come in, and therefore it's harder for you. So it's a higher bar for you, lower bar for them. Definitionally, that's a redistribution of test scores to somebody else, just by the definition. And you're okay with that?
Well, I guess I would ask then, if we were to do what you're doing, I guess that's what's happening under Trump, right?
Well, no, it's actually been happening the last 40 years.
Okay, actually, yeah, whatever. Okay, so when you say that, if you do that, then, well, black people aren't going to get into school, and then they won't be able to uplift themselves, they won't be able to have prosperous families, they won't be able to, equalize the economic status, because you need to give them a little jump start. You know, you have a car, right?
How is that? Well, no.
Thank y'all. Thank you. Girl, Dad.
No, how is that worked the last 40 years? We've had robust affirmative action.
No.
We've had hiring practices. Has it made Black America more successful?
I can answer that easily. It's because it. Oh, sorry. It's because sorry. What am I going for? Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really get what he's talking about, but I ain't never know for nobody to lower no test scores or for the bar to be set lower for black people to get enter. Like, if anything, the bar has been raised. It's not easy to get into college. It's not easier to get a job because you're black. It's actually harder to get a job because you're black because you don't have the connections. Don't fall for the myth that black people got it easy when it comes. It's hard. It's not easy. They use things against us like felonies. I mean, if you get locked up, your life is pretty much over with. Like, you get a felony, you can't. Nobody gonna hire you, and you forced to go back and do the same thing you were doing to get locked up. It's like set up against us, but at the same time, it's not their fault. Like, we have more obstacles to overcome. I mean, and other races have obstacles to overcome, but we don't have it better off in life because we're black. That doesn't make sense. I mean, as a white person or anybody, I mean, we don't. Black people do not have it easier. We get out and work just like everybody else. We don't. I mean, going to college is no. Being able to go to college is no flex. I mean, when we go to college, a lot of time we're taking out student loans, so it's not like they're giving us money to go to college. We may be able to get admitted in a sense, but it's still a scam. Let me tell you why it's a scam because okay, so when I went to Ole Miss, they got a program where they let people in that didn't necessarily qualify. It's black, white, whoever. So you had to take intermediate classes or like classes that like you're in college, but you're taking classes to it's like I'm trying to explain it. It's like pre college classes in order for you to and once you pass those though that would they will put you in the regular classes. So basically they let you in even though you're not ready for college or you didn't you didn't make the grades to just say that you should be in college, so but you still pay the tuition, and when you flunk out you don't get a refund. You see what I'm saying? Like, I go to school. If I can't, if I'm not, if you don't necessarily have the grades to go to college, you probably don't necessarily got the money to go to college. So you take out a loan because you want to go to this 4 year college with all your friends, and you don't necessarily qualify. So you get there and you go 1 or 2 years, and then you drop out, flunk out, and this college would have made $20,000 off you attempting to go to college when you weren't necessarily ready. Like, it's not a good thing that you know, it's almost a setup. Like, hey, let's get a lot of these people that not qualified for college or not ready for college to let's ease them in and let's give them student loans because I mean, you get these kids that ain't got no money, um, $20,000 and $30,000, and they do their student loans and do all this stuff, and they have $10,000 left. I mean, you setting them up for failure, and then once they don't pay their loans back, you can't get a house. Um, they start garnishing your wages. You don't have a college degree, so you kind of stuck in that phase where um, working minimum jobs. I mean, it's like a setback. I know a lot of college students or people that went to college that dropped out and just can't really move on to the next step because you don't have a college degree and you got the student loan debt that come with the college, but you don't have the degree. So it's hard for them um, to move forward. So don't think that we got it easy and it's a pathway. Yeah, we play sports. You get a scholarship, but I mean that's hard work in itself to juggle. But nothing's nothing's given. Like I don't get this notion to where they think that black people got it easy. It's some of the most bizarre thing I ever heard. You said the bar is raised for you have to be above and beyond the standard education, social, and every aspect to be expected or maybe accepted. And with them, only accepting just enough to meet the quota, yeah. And I'm not a big fan of the DEI stuff because it make black people feel like you're not wanted. Like I don't want you to hire me to meet a quota, even though something needs to be done to to make things kind of fair. But we shouldn't get hired um, in places that don't want us, and that's a whole nother different topic. But I don't want to work for a company that only hired me because they needed a black male to meet a quota to get a grant or to make their like profile look multicultural to to advertise toward our race. So like if you sell water, say you sell water, and everybody's on the team is white, and you want to market your product to all races of African Americans, and you go hire me to to kind of so when you make your commercials and do your marketing, you got a black person there. Um, but nah, I don't want to ever work for a company where it was a DEI hire, and I think that'll kill some of the stereotype because it's like um, if it wasn't no DEI and that person got hired, then that person qualified. I mean, and it's also with women. I mean, you just want to be don't want to get hired because you're a woman. You want to get hired because of your skill set. But on the same note, a lot of white men get hired because of who they know. Like you, you're gonna bring your son in. You're gonna bring your son friends in. It's you're networking. Um, a lot of white people um, know probably a lot more white people than they know blacks, and it's just your neighborhoods, who you go to church with, you know, friends of friends, family. I mean, it's hard to get into that circle. So you just gonna naturally hire who you know and who you're comfortable with, and you're comfortable with your people, and that's fine. Um, but we really need to take a look in the mirror. Let's check out another interview and get y'all opinion on it. Shout out to everybody that's up and tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you don't mind, please give me a like. And if you haven't subscribed, please add me. Let's check out another. Um, I want to try to find a video you talk about black fathers, black dads, something like that.
Right? So when segregation ended, right, black people, or when slavery ended, actually, black people were just forced wherever, right? So they had nowhere to go. And then there was laws put in place to put them into prison, and after...
It's okay. No. What's your name? Guys, what's your name?
Jackson.
It takes a lot of courage to come up here.
Yeah, no,
Let's
I
just
know.
take a deep breath. Okay, I'm not here to pick on you.
No,
and
I
I appreciate it. No, it's okay. I know that this could be very intimidating getting into a crowd like this. So just take a deep breath. Let me make your argument. I'm going to make your argument for you, and I'm going to tell you why I think it's wrong. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the argument that is being made,
Yeah, I hear that.
that you want to make, is that there's legacies of injustice.
Yes.
And that those legacies impact one generation after the other. And when those things get handed down, you have what is a system or a systemic issue that isn't just isolated in 2024. So the argument that you're making is that what happened in 1954 does impact 2024 of decade after decade after decade. Let me tell you my response to that. Of course, there is some truth to that. However, every culture, every person in this audience can point to issues that families or generations prior had that were able to overcome. So the question is, why is it that Black America is one of the only populations, that and Native American populations, that have not been able to overcome such evil, horrors, and injustices? Here's my perspective, and I want to hear what you have to say, is that the number one way to keep people out of poverty, lower the crime rate, and have a better society is whether or not you have a mom and a dad around. Would we agree that's an ideal? Yeah? Cool.
Yeah.
And so what happened in 1964 is that 25% of Black youth were raised by a single mom. Today, it's nearly 75%, about 70%. So that means that 1 in 4 Black kids will have a father around. Only 1 in 4. That's the number one issue happening in the country, and it's not because of systemic racism. I'd like to hear what you have to say about that.
Okay, so I think
Speaking facts, I agree with him there. In the black community, we got to do better when it comes to raising our kids. I agree with him there. I said, you got me right there. But I got 2 kids, and I raised the hell out of them kids. I raised my kids because I know how important it is. I grew up without a father. I was conceived. My parents were not even in a relationship, and it affected me in a negative way. Growing up, lack confidence. Just all kind of, emotional and mental things that, went through, coming up in high school, really needed my father in high school, but wasn't there. Thankfully my mother was married, met a new, a guy, and my siblings, was raised pretty good, My stepfather did a really good job with my siblings, and I thank him for that. But me personally, I didn't have a father. I had a stepfather when I was like 16, and it was pretty much, at that point, it was, it is what it is. But, and another thing, my father was alive. He just wasn't present. So, I agree. Like, a lot of black fathers were present in their kids' life. A lot of this crime, a lot of this shooting, a lot of this, because it's nothing but hurt. A lot of these black kids are hurting right now. They don't know why. It's because they don't have their father. So they out robbing and stealing and you know, doing whatever because they got so much anger and so much hatred. You know, they you know they need their father, and you know when they turn about 6, like their mother is fine when their kids about 4 and 5 years old, you know, to be up under their mama. But when their kids start turning 6 and going to kindergarten, and he need his father. And for the girls, I mean, they need their father too. They need a positive um, person in their life, a positive male in their life, to show them what real love is. Because a lot of women go into the streets and because they don't know what real love is, so they just date who and whoever. So I agree. He has the got a point there. I know Black America don't like to hear that from a white person, but you got a point. And for the most part, we can control, you know, this. I know some systemic stuff, you know, that get thrown in there that, you know, like the, um, but we got to get better at picking our partners for the kids' sake. Like we go out here and sleep with different women, and I'm not me, but African Americans, it's in the culture to sleep with multiple women and have multiple baby mamas, but we don't think about the kids. Like you got, it's no way possible that you got 6, 7 kids in different households that you can raise them in a positive way. So let's check out some of the comments. Shout out to everybody that's on the live tonight. I want to say your name wrong. Is it Naisha? Naisha said, but we saying the truth, but they broke the black family apart during the introduction of welfare initiatives that made sure that they separated black families. I mean, can't blame them for it, but that did. I do understand where you're coming from because the families were poor. If in order to get on the welfare, the male, the male had to not be in the household. So if we minimum wage people and I got kids and my kids need to, especially not married, if my kids, in order for me to get the food stamps, in order for me to get the WIC or whatever, um, a black male can't be in the home, and I understand that. Um, but I know a lot of families said, "The hell with that. We're gonna choose to we're gonna stay together for our kids' sake. We're not gonna get on this welfare. We're not gonna do that." So I know a lot of families that sacrifice um, the welfare just so they can have a happy family and stay with their kids. But a lot of people didn't back in the day. They gave their father an excuse and he took it. And you know, what's up, Thomas? Was That was the goal of the welfare, to separate black families prior to the black people were running the same lane as being married and staying with the family. Hmm. Yep. Yep. And it's kind of like today. Um, you get more benefits being a single mom than you do being married. Like it can be married and be struggling, but if you're single, you can get food stamps, you can get WIC, and WIC is like the little milk, and formula and stuff for your child. You get different you can get different insurance, Medicare, stuff like that. So I know in housing, I know a specific person that was able to get Section 8 housing because they was a single mom, and the guy couldn't. They got rules where the guy he can't even have a man there, can't even have his clothes there, he can't even spend the night there. And if you get caught, you get kicked out. So I understand where they're coming from with that, but it's no excuse. I mean, you know, you got to say like if you truly a single mom, that's fine. You know, if you truly with somebody, they're locked up, they in jail, they deceased. I understand that, or you know, whatever the case was. But if you're a father, if you're a man, you got a child out there, and you're able bodied, and you're not locked up, you got to be spending time. You got to be make a decision. Say, I'm just gonna be with this person, even if it's like somebody that you're not compatible with. You almost got to make the decision. Say, okay, I want to be present in my child's life. I love my child this much that I'm gonna try to make this relationship work. We got to get better at being fathers. That's why I promote fatherhood, because it's very important. Very important. So shout out to all the fathers. Okay, so she said what has happened is how they orchestrated all of the systematic to keep us down. They have broke the black family down. Yeah, and I understand that. But we can't use that as an excuse. Like nobody's forcing us to not be a part of our child's life. They may present the trap, but nobody's forcing you. You know, they might say, "Hey, here goes some cocaine." You know, but they ain't making you go and sell it. You know what I'm saying? You making it's at the end of the day. At the end of the day, can't blame nobody but ourselves. But the systems are there. We can acknowledge that the systems are there. Um, and I'm sure it was orchestrated. I'm sure they had meetings like, hey, you know, we want to generate some more wealth. We want to, hey, you know, and it ain't necessarily all blacks. I'm sure it went for poor whites and all that. Because it's not so much about race. It's about um, top and bottom. So you can't just single out blacks, even though black may be majority of the lower class, um, percentage wise. But no, it's just not just for colored people. But yeah, but thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all so much. Um, but yeah, let's see what else he's talking about.
Judge you at first, like when you brought up the 1350 stat, I had like just assumed that it was like inherently like eugenics based kind of, you know. So, and that's where mine came from. Like I think we are on the same page that like we know what the problem is, and that's what I mean. Like
no,
the
and
education.
Thank you for saying that, because I think we actually have a lot more in common in this
Right.
country than the media would ever believe.
No, definitely, right? And like what my point was, I was trying to say is, I don't think that we're doing enough to help these black communities catch up. Where, as like they're underfunded and they're over policed, and there's these factors that are contributing to, like you said, these single parent households.
Yeah,
like
so we're not going to agree on this. This is where we'll disagree, and that's okay. I have more of a view of Thomas Sowell on this, where he believes it's far more about culture, values, and worldview than stuff and over-policing. I believe there's not enough police in black neighborhoods. You're going to disagree with that. Let's not even get into it, okay? But I think we can ask a question, and I want your opinion. Why is it that the single motherhood rate in black America went from 25% to 75% over 50 years, where America did become less racist?
Like, why did it?
Yeah, so what caused black America to go from one of the strongest nuclear family communities in the country to now the weakest by far?
I can't answer.
No, that's okay. No, that's great. And again, it's hard to get up and have these conversations. Here's my opinion. My opinion is that yes, there was some social welfare that subsidized single motherhood, which means it's easier to get cash from the government if you say you are single than if you are married. I think we can agree that's stupid. That shouldn't happen, right? But I would love your perspective on this. Do you think in black culture, getting married and staying with one woman for your entire life is elevated and celebrated?
No, not at all.
I think that's the problem.
I think the problem stems from a lack of education. I think these communities don't have. I don't think a lot of them have the proper education or learning from previous to realize what will lead them to a more successful future. I think that if we funded more education in these systems, then these men wouldn't be so focused on stuff like gang violence to get protection or money or
you have a great
stuff like that, and then end up in prison and then end up with their child having a single mother.
Fair enough. So
sorry, I didn't argue.
No, it's great. So there's a lot of examples that there's some merit to your argument, but it's more about the quality of education than the amount of money we spend on it.
Yeah.
Such as, that's why I'm a big proponent of school choice and educational vouchers and opposing the teacher unions. But the core is this, is that the number one predictor for a kid of any skin color, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, is whether or not dad is around.
Right.
And I look as an outsider, albeit, at current black culture, right? From the athletes to the rap music to the music, I don't see the nuclear family elevated, nor is it an internal black cultural expectation. Now, I will ask some of the white individuals here in this audience, okay? If you guys got pregnant and all of a sudden you didn't even know who the father was around, well, how would your parents react? Not great, right? Yes? Unfortunately, in black America, this is kind of accepted. Would you agree?
I can't say. I grew up around a lot of white people, so I can't say.
All right, okay. Well, so, but it is a fact that it is accepted, right? So that's the problem. The problem is that it's a cultural norm that has then turned into the cycle of poverty. The cycle of poverty can break very quickly if fathers stayed with the women they impregnate.
But most of these fathers aren't just leaving. A large majority of these fathers are ending up in prison. Like, this is
good point. Why do you go to prison?
Because you commit crime, but because the prison system has been targeted against minorities.
Again, we're not going to agree here.
Right,
that's okay.
Yeah.
There's actually under enforcement of the laws when it comes where there's, for example, only half of murders in Chicago get solved.
Right, but are they all black people though?
Almost all of them, yeah. Like 80,
well,
80.
If they're not solved, how do we know that they're black people?
Well, because it's a black victim in a black neighborhood by a black gang. So it's like you can assume at a great approximation that in the west side of Chicago,
50% of the murders in Chicago that go unsolved are all black people.
Not all. No, I said 85%. But we don't know who the perp is. But again, if you have a black victim at 2 a.m. in a black neighborhood, it's reasonable to say that it was a black on black crime. 90% of murders after 2 a.m. in Chicago are black on black crimes. I'm from Chicago, right. I happen to know it. Right? But like half of all murders in Chicago are unsolved, that means half of all murderers are walking free. So we have an under enforcement of laws. We have the ladies here in this audience should know this. You know that there's over 600,000 rape kits in this country that have not even been opened or tested, which means that there are women who say that they've been raped and their kits are not even put in the system. There are probably hundreds of thousands of rapists that walk free in this country.
Yeah, no, our system is
no, what I'm saying though, that's an under enforcement of laws though.
Yeah, because our system is terrible.
No, I know, but you said we have an over enforcement. I don't think we have enough people in jail.
You don't think we have enough people?
No, like I said, half of all murderers walk free. We don't even know who they are.
Okay, but I sure, whatever, but I'm talking, I don't think that I don't think that black people are as, more than 50% of exonerations from prison are black people. Like, a black person is more likely than any other race to be tried for a crime that they did not commit and then to be released from prison for a crime that they did not commit.
That's not totally true. Let's pretend that it is. It's because they're in front of the justice system more because of the high crime. But let's try to find some agreement.
I'm talking percentages of exonerations. Like, they're
No, it's because they're in the system more, though. It's because you have more cases. But anyway, let's pretend that's true. Let's pretend the system's totally racist.
Actually, there's more white people in the system because white people make up like what? Like
no, for sure.
So you're just incorrect there, right? Like you're doing to me.
But they don't commit as many crimes.
Okay, so let's be cordial. Let's be cordial.
You're not being, so let's calm down a little bit, okay?
You're not being.
Am I being sweet to this guy?
Okay, but
all right. Let me ask you one question in closing, though. If you could say to Black America, here is more money, more stuff, more housing, or more fathers, which one would you choose?
More funding. I don't think, because fathers, I think that you need to solve the problem from the bottom. I don't think you can just plant a bunch of fathers in and they're going to stay there. Like you said, they're just going to, like in the culture, it's not part of the culture. So they would just leave.
It's a hypothetical, meaning if the fathers were to stay.
Were to stay?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. If, like, I just knew for 100% fact that they were going to stay.
No,
sure.
we have agreement. So during the BLM stuff 4 years ago, did we hear anything from the national BLM leaders or anybody about Black dads staying around with women they impregnate? Did anyone mention that?
No.
Why? It's the fundamental issue. The fundamental issue is if you have a father around, less likely to commit crimes, more likely to graduate high school, more likely to get a job, less likely to be in poverty.
How do we get there? Like, this is what I'm like, how do we get there?
Well, the first of which is you must raise the standard of expectation, both internally and externally in the Black community, that we're not going to put up with men, because we're both men, fleeing the women that they impregnate. Yeah. That we will say to men that flee the women that they impregnate, you're a loser, we're not going to tolerate you, we're not going to be friends with you, that you're the scum of the earth, that if you impregnate a woman and you just run away from them.
Most definitely.
Do we do that right now?
I don't think all men do. I think this is very common. What's the word I'm with? I think this is very common in just masculine culture in general, is that men won't do that too.
I actually think it's the opposite of masculine culture too. I think it's not feminine, it's something else. No. Just fleeing from the difficult.
Well, no, but I'm saying in male circles, I feel like that is something that males would praise, or at least around my age range. That's something that happens.
So then I think we need to demand better. Thank you for coming up to the mic. I know it's not easy, and God bless you. Thank you so much.
Have a good day, sir.
All right. Hey, he was on his shit then. I ain't even gonna lie.
What's up, guys? This is Luke Kuechly. I am currently
I ain't gonna lie. So, check out some of the comments. I said, God, please make a way. Yeah, I agree. So if they want a Black, he was able to take care of his family and introduce a program that would help along as a man is not around. What do you think is going to happen? Right. So why don't they should create a program to where the man, you can help if the man is around. That seems like too much like right. But yeah, them programs, I mean, they were put in place for a reason. You know, you can't build a strong, solid fatherhood if you don't have, you can't build a family, you can't build, you can't have nothing, you can't have wealth, you can't accomplish nothing if you don't, just one parent busting their butt and the father is just out here making more kids. It's completely destroyed the Black community. Completely. But he was right. I mean, you hate to hear it from a white person, but he was right. It's not promoted. Black, if you listen to all the rap songs and, you know, our culture, you know, we like rap We like to look at athletes, and a lot of our athletes, you know, got multiple baby mamas, and it's like not like a white athlete probably married, got a couple kids. A black athlete probably got 3 or 4 baby mamas. Like it's normal for a black athlete to have a couple baby mamas, and him not really, or him picking and choosing who he want to raise. And the rappers, multiple baby mama. Future got multiple baby mamas. It's no way possible that he can sit down and raise. Even comedians, Country Wayne got 10 kids. Even though he tried best probably to do a good job, but there's no way, especially with them girls, there's no way that he can get them what they need. If you got 10 kids, nothing wrong with having 10 kids, but you need them all in the same household. You need to be like spending time with them, and you got a point. Like no matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat, you're right. I mean, I wish the Democrats would stop titty feeding us African Americans and really just help in a way that we can, like, sometimes I feel like the Democrats be giving us handouts instead of teaching us how to fish. Like, and it's sad because sometimes I think they Democrats try to use us as a pawn. I feel like they got us, and they give us a representation. They give us a black politician and black this and black that. But I mean, we really need like a true policies that gonna help like us to prosper, and not just feeding us crumbs, giving us Juneteenth. Like nobody wanted Juneteenth. Nobody wanted Juneteenth holiday. Like we celebrated Juneteenth, but we didn't need it as a holiday. It was like our thing. But you federalize it, and you know people don't even celebrate Juneteenth no more because of that. It was like our thing. When you think you did something, when you gave us that, we didn't ask for that. So he was right. I mean, I'm just, you know, he was right. We got to be, we got to condemn people that go out here and purposely have multiple kids and start advocating fatherhood, getting married, raising your kids. Like, we got to get to that, make that not the norm. But rest in peace, somebody said Charlie Kirk was a solid dude. I agree. I mean, some stuff, I mean, I didn't agree with him, of course, but um, I always thought Charlie was pro-life. He's pro-life. Why did he die? We don't know yet. We don't know why. Mm, it is too much like right, which is why he did what he did, except but by separating the black family. Yep. But you gotta think about it. why would they want to separate the black family? Because like he said, 75% black family was getting married at a real high rate, and they was accumulating wealth, and they was raising their kids, and and I think hip hop probably is a major part of our destruction. There's nothing in hip hop from the early hip hop to the hip hop today. Nothing celebrates fatherhood. Like I was looking for a song for my social media post about, me and my son went on this fishing charter, and there's not a lot of songs that talk about being a father, being a good father. Some songs on there talking about, loving your mom because, guys grew up with just their mom. There wasn't a lot of songs to glorify fatherhood. It's very sad. We got to know all these songs by all these different artists, and nobody really celebrates their father. That's why Father Days in the black community like don't even get celebrated. Really, Mother's Day is huge. Father Day, you don't even shit. Kids don't even get to get. Kids don't even buy your father nothing. Like they don't even have advertisement for it. Somebody sent a message that's gotten hell. For the record, both parties give largest forms of handouts and subsidies to America's large corporations. The number is incalculable. What about back in the day when slave owners had mixed kids? They had more than one baby mama, but they got passed about not acknowledging those children. You're right. Kirk said in 2023 event that immigrants into the United States should be entirely stopped. Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with everything. I don't agree with a lot that he's saying. I mean, a lot of stuff be for clickbait, a lot of stuff to get the base riled up, and a lot of stuff, he maybe his personal opinion, but a lot of stuff is like propaganda. You know, I'm sure he got donors and he getting paid by a certain group to say certain things to, you know, but we as African Americans, and I'm speaking to y'all, but um, as African American, we have to stop feeling a type of way about the white man or the government and really start building ourselves up from the ground up and really take pride in being fathers, being mothers, working hard, saving, and trying to generate. It's like the opportunities out here. Like it's nothing stopping me from saving money. There's nothing stopping me from making money. It's nothing that's stopping me from being a father. I mean, I can travel. We can, purchase things. Like we got all the tools we need to be successful. We can build our shops. We can start small businesses. We can do barbershops. We can do um, catering. Like we can create our own businesses. You can do online. We just got to get out here and make it happen. Like, you know, and stop making excuses and stop falling for the norms. Like we got to get out this TV, get out what's going on the blogs, and just get out here and raise our kids. Like if you take time out to raise your kids, like you be in line with where you need to be. You spend more time with your kids, spend more time with your family. You be right in line with where you need to be. When you start going to the club or you start cheating, you start doing this and that. That's when you messing up. So it's not about hip hop. They didn't want us to have a strong family unit, so they made a way to break the black family. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but they made it easy for the black family to break apart. You can't blame them. You can't say that they did it, but you can make it. They can make it easier to break the family up. But it's up to us to make that decision to leave or not. I mean, yeah, it can be a factor, but can anybody make you do something that you don't want to do, like um, child support stuff, like purposely guys probably don't want to spend time. They pay child support. They're not gonna go spend too much time with their kids. It's okay. I done sent $500 over here, or $100, $200, whatever. You basically feel like you did your part. I mean, you don't even got more. I mean, how can you take your child to eat and do the different things, but you already gave them child support? Like you gonna feel like their child support should cover whatever. So, but how did you get on child support? You didn't. They didn't put child support on you. You made a decision to lay down with that woman and have a kid. So we just got to be smarter when it comes to navigate life. And I try to preach that to my little brother and my son. I'm gonna drill it, and my daughter. I'm gonna drill this stuff into them. And if they don't make the right decision, they can't say their father didn't let them know. But we got to wake up and take care of the things that we can control. I listen to hip hop, but I know the difference between music and reality. But I try not to listen to it a lot around my kids because I don't want them to. The lines get blurred around kids. They still developing. And I'm an adult. I know it's entertainment, but I don't try to embody it. Listen to a little music here and there. Or sometimes you can get something that'll motivate you, but understand like it's our responsibility as men to take care of our family and be there for our family, and not um, blame anybody because when you start blaming them, you give yourself an excuse. Yeah, it's a reason certain things happen, but it's not an excuse. We got to be able to navigate. We see the traps. We got plenty of examples that we can see that's going on, and we just need to navigate it. You know that you can't be out here speeding. You can't be out here driving with no license. You know you need insurance. You know you need a job. You know you need your education. You know these things. You know that you can't put your hands on women. You know you can't be out here fighting. You know you don't need to be out here with no gun illegally. Like I said, if you spend more time with your kids and your family, you're headed in the right direction. You avoid all of the drama, the mess, but we just got to, got to be wiser, be smarter. And it's a lot of black guys that are doing the right thing. It's a lot of black guys that are raising their families, working good jobs, making good money, saving, going on vacation. being a positive role model, good husband, good son, and I salute y'all. I'm a part of that. Uh, I'm a part of that. Those guys. I'm one of them, and I take pride in being a good husband, a good father, good sibling. Um, but you're exactly right. We got too much examples um, where we can see from the past how that, and we just keep going in this cycle, and it's not a setup. It's us making those decisions. Like you shouldn't be going to jail when you know that your dad, your granddad, and your uncles done went to jail. Like you got to know. I saw the trap that he fell into. Let me not go that way. He went to jail selling drugs. I know how they made his family, how they hurt his family, how they hurt me. Seeing my father went to jail, I know how they hurt me, so shouldn't go that route. Okay, so more so nowadays, but the systematic racism we face has trickled down and still affecting us. And I agree that racism is still alive and well, but it shouldn't be able to affect you or control you. If somebody walk up to me or get on somebody comment monkey on my in the comments. It didn't bother me. I went on there, blocked this person, deleted their message. We got to get out of our feelings and understand that racism is they did do it and they did on purpose. What you don't see is you can't make you do something that you don't want to do. You call slavery for how many years black people were enslaved? I mean, yeah, we were slaves for a very long time. Um, do I think slavery is wrong? Of course. Do I think black people back then was done bad? Of course they were. Um, did they have it hard? Yes. It was every day hard? Probably not. But some of the masters, okay, I'm sure they were. Was some of them really bad? Yeah, I'm sure they were. Um, but I think out of respect for our ancestors and with the opportunities, because this is what they fought for us to have these opportunities that we got today. So with the opportunities we got today, we have to utilize all the information we have and all the resources we have and do better. Like, there's no way that we should be going in the same cycle and blaming white people at this 2025. I mean, we got white people fighting for us every day. You have more white people fighting for your rights as a black person than you do, than black people are. There's more white people fighting for black people rights than black people fighting for their own rights. You will see white people protesting racism more than black people do. And I don't have more white people help me than black people. I done been stuck on side of the road. White man don't know me from nothing. Come over, help me, no problem. Ask me nothing. Have a good day. Then ask me, came up. I had got, I think, it was on the side of the road. White man pulled up, old truck. Hey, how you doing? How can I help? Fix my car. Asked me for a dime. Went on by his day. Conservative people, conservative white man, conservative white women. Something happened to me. Do I need anything? Do y'all need anything? And of course, liberals help too. So understand with slavery, you know, the whole mind, the whole thought of it. Um, is a part of our history, and it was a horrible act. We can all agree, but we just have out of respect for our ancestors. We have so many resources, and we got the internet. We 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 got freedom. Like literally, like we can be what we want to be in life. So you don't want to. If something holding you back, is more likely than it's your own decision. Like, you know how many black millionaires it is? I mean, kids making hundreds of $1,000s in college. Crazy. So, but yeah, go ahead and wrap this up. It's getting late. But we definitely gonna talk about this all week. But yeah, they did do it on purpose, which you don't see. But yeah, rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. I mean, he went out there in the field and did the work. Like, you gotta respect that he went to the field. He didn't like hide behind a computer the whole time. He went out there to the field. You know, do I think he was? He in his mind he might have thought that he was doing, and he might feel like he was doing everything right. And I agree with, like I said, with a few of his takes. I haven't heard or listened to everything he ever said, but the few things I agree with some of them, some stuff I don't agree with. But I mean, this political uh, cycle that we in is dangerous, dangerous right now. So y'all be careful. You know, if you're gonna speak on something, make sure you can stand on it. Like, don't get out here saying stuff, popping it off, and then you confront it and you can't back it up. So, but, more like rest and hatred. That was his trademark product. And I mean, yeah, he had propaganda. He know how to ride up the base. I mean, we understand that there's a lot of people in America that don't like African Americans. They just don't. Like, I personally think that um, I think it's, how like when you like a girl in school and you get up nerve to say something to her and she like don't share that same love, and now you don't like her. Like, you had the biggest crush on the girl, and soon you got the courage not to say something to her. She kind of plays you to the left, and you know didn't like you or didn't like look at you that way. And now you don't like her, you hate her, you want something bad happen to her. I kind of feel like it's a lot of like um, love but hate because the same people that don't like black people are the same people that watching football, watching basketball, listen to rap music, you know, getting the lip injections, getting tans, but you don't like the black people. I literally know white girls that date black guys, but don't like black girls or black people. Kind of like got a black husband, but really don't care for black people. It's black men that date white women, but don't care for white people. Like they date the white girl, but they don't care for like white men or care for none of this other stuff. So it's just crazy. But I love everybody, and I don't even look at people as black and white. I just look at them as human beings. I don't judge you based off the color of your skin, height, or nothing. Your past. I just judge you by who you currently are today. Um, but yeah, as men, we got to raise our kids. We need to raise our kids, and we need to stop blaming the white man for our problems and step out and handle your business. We falling behind. We are falling behind. We got to make it acceptable and cool to be fathers. I understand the Black Wall Streets and all that stuff being destroyed, but it ain't being this stuff not being destroyed today. I'm talking about today. You know, yeah, the way I said, I mean, the black family was strong. 75% of black people were married, like couples were married, and that was frightening to them. And they did put systems in place to destroy it, and it went down to 25. But how are we gonna get it back up to 75%? We got the resources to do this. Like my thing is, if you're gonna have kids, you need to be married. If you don't want to get married, don't have kids. If you want to have kids, if you don't want to be married and have kids, adopt kids. But don't make kids with women and don't be around in their lives. That's all I'm saying. That's all he was saying. Because kids will act better when their father around. When they got two parent household, kids tend to be better. They got more accountability, more structure, more leadership. A woman can't raise a bunch of kids. She's trying to work and provide. I mean, that's why I'm always promoting fatherhood, fatherhood, fatherhood. So that's what I'm saying. Black people being married frighten them. Then what do they say about them? Um, what does it say about them? It just saying you. It's not everybody. So, but the people that trying was a part of the reasoning for trying to break black families down to those people, you embarking upon their wealth, because this it's all about top and bottom. You start to rise to the top when you marry. You got two incomes in your family, so your purchasing value goes up. You won't be living in an apartment if you one parent. You're gonna be living in an apartment. If you two parents married, you're gonna be living in a house. You're gonna be generating wealth. You're gonna have land. You're gonna be able to save. Kids gonna, be better kids, grow up to be better adults. That means that you're gonna have a qualified. You're gonna have people that are qualified, and people are gonna succeed. They're gonna build businesses, and they're gonna have a higher earning power. That's what's going on with Black Wall Street. People, we built our own towns, our own communities. That's why the Mexicans are able to do certain stuff, and the Arab, all people stick together. And we don't even stick together. We killing each other. It's a part of the culture to shoot each other. More black people kill black people than like more black person more likely to get killed by another black person. So we killing ourselves. We got to take this thing one step at a time and start from the bottom today and say, let's be responsible men and women, utilize our resources, save money, and make this happen. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up and call it a night. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. Hope y'all get some good rest tonight. Give me a follow if you're not following me, and go check out some of my videos. Um, but yeah, check me out tomorrow. I'll set your notifications, and we'll get back on this live. We got a lot more to talk about. I'm gonna have to bring some of y'all in. If y'all don't mind, I'm gonna bring some of y'all in so we can have a back and forth discussion. All right. Appreciate y'all.